The latest title update has made a new kind of immortality possible, something that I never thought would happen in a Monster Hunter game. That is Berserk, and here's how it works. If you swap to your blue scroll, all remaining green health will turn into red, and you take no damage from direct attacks. But you slowly lose health, and it stacks with other things like poison, fire, dereliction, and also bloodlust, which comes with the same pieces as Berserk. On top of that, you lose health faster the more you get hit. You have to turn Berserk off by returning to red scroll in order to reset the health loss. The health loss can be managed though. Every weapon probably has its own way, but I think Hunting Horn does it best. Plus you'll be surrounded by every source of healing that you can possibly bring. With that said, you guys are probably asking, why not run a normal build with all that healing? Why use Berserk at all? Here's why. With Berserk, you can control how much damage you take. You no longer have to survive against a monster, you try to survive against Berserk. Then how's that different from Dereliction? Well, both Dereliction and monster are trying to kill you. Also, as we progress with title updates and get higher level anomaly investigations, monsters start hitting harder. With Berserk, that's no longer an issue. That issue is actually ignored because monster damage becomes negligible. Novas and big attacks will feel like nothing. It's like fighting a low rank monster with a lot of health. The only thing that's missing, in my opinion, is something called hyper armor. That term doesn't exist in the game, but it's a word that usually describes being immune to all damage reactions, being immovable. A few examples of this is the Great Sword Tackle, Charge Blade Air Dash, and Silkbind Shockwave. You still take damage, but you won't be knocked down or around. But with Berserk, you still lose health if you're knocked down, and if the monster keeps on knocking you around, that health loss will build up very fast, because you're not getting enough time to recover your health. Plus you lose DPS. I solved that problem by using Sonic Barrier. Using that Hunting Horn melody can prevent all damage reaction for one hit, and it lasts for a few seconds. Pair that with Bloodblight for healing, and you can literally spam one combo throughout the whole fight. Bloodblight now has a decoration which makes it easy to slot in different armor pieces. The difficult part is getting the materials because it only becomes available at level 181 Anomaly Research. One other way to get this skill is from Curious Crafting, which might need some luck, but it's made easier by the new Augment skill option. Since this build will mostly be used for anomaly investigations, try to take advantage of Bloodblight for healing. With that, you don't need to break any parts to heal, so you actually want to get hit with this build, despite the penalty from Berserk, so you can keep Bloodblight up. Also, it stacks with Bloodrite. If you really don't like Sonic Barrier, you could use a Hunting Horn with health recovery instead. Use it with Bead of Resonance to double your healing. One way to reduce the health loss is by removing Bloodlust from your equipment. The new Augment skill option can easily do that. Here's how it works. When you use that option, the game will always add a skill and remove at least one level of any permanent skill in the equipment. I highly recommend doing this in both the Chaotic Gore gloves and legs that we'll be using for this build. The rest of the equipment that we'll be using are Geismagorm Helm, Malzeno Chest, and Risen Kushala Waist. Talismans are not required to complete this build, but I recommend the best attack boost talismans you have. It's now made easier to get thanks to the new Aurora melding option. All decorations needed for this build can fit in the armor pieces alone. Feel free to add and adjust your decorations depending on your weapon or talismans. So we have Resentment that's always up due to Berserk, Attack Boost 4, Weakness Exploit, Recovery up 3 for more healing, and it easily comes with the set. Stun Resist 3, Kushala Blessing 3 works with Berserk like normal, Coalescence 3 is great against afflicted monsters due to Bloodblight, and with this build, you'll get it a lot. Wirebug Whisperer 2 for more waterfall so you can easily get back to the fight, Berserk 2 to further reduce health loss, Horn Maestro, Heartbreaker, and Bloodrite. Also, I have 2 levels of Burst because of augments. Once you have access to Bloodrite decorations, you can switch the Malzeno chest to Risen Kushala. you'll end up with almost the same skills. This time though, you get Wirebug Whisper 3, some Razor Sharp for comfort, and Diversion, which would help increase Bloodblight uptime. I also try to get rid of Spare Shot on the chest piece using the skill augment option. Other skills that you can use depending on the matchup are Blight Resist to prevent burn, Poison Resist, Paralysis Resist, Sleep Resist, and Handicraft or Elemental Attack depending on your weapon. Skills that improve general performance are more attack boost if not yet maxed, Speed Eating for Gourmet Fish, or you can also use Item Prolonger 3 to make Gourmet Fish last longer from 90 seconds to 135 seconds. Evade Extender is great for mobility if monsters move a lot. Resuscitate, which is another great skill to have against Bloodblight, recovery speed, burst, and critical boost. Now here are my choice of weapons. The Devil's Lute has all the songs you need. Note that it shares some songs with Hinoa. Sky Tremor Typhoon has the best attack and works great with Grinder S. Lacks deco slots unfortunately and shares the same songs as Minoto. Royal Order's Horn is a good balanced horn and has comfortable sharpness and it looks good. If you don't like Sonic Barrier, you can use a Hunting Horn with health recovery so you can catch up with healing once you get knocked down. One that I recommend the most is the Mycotoxic Fungus Axe, which has health recovery large and great raw attack. It has no slots but it can poison monsters. If you want the best of both worlds, then the Bell of Laertes might work for you. It has both health recovery and Sonic Barrier. You'll need the Rampage slot upgrade though, so you can use better Rampage decorations. And it does ice damage, but it's not great. The best one to use for ice is the Aurora Kent Hunting Horn. It only has health regen for healing but deals an insane amount of ice damage. So here are the options for other elements. For fire, we have the Anjanath Hunting Horn. It has health recovery small but great raw and purple sharpness. The Mizitsune Hunting Horn is the best one for water, and it has access to Blight Negated Song to prevent burn against fire monsters, the main target for this hunting horn. The best one for dragon for this update is the new Chaotic Gore Magala Hunting Horn, but if you're having a hard time getting materials for it, the Visello Black Horn is a great alternative. And finally for thunder, nothing beats the Narwa Hunting Horn, high elemental damage and access to both health recovery and regeneration. The best Rampage decorations are always the Anti-Species Jewels, but you could also take advantage of Bloody Heart, which gives increasing raw attack as you heal more health during Bloodblight. And with this build, you are going to get hit a lot. Bloody Heart gives a maximum of 30 raw attack. So if you're fighting afflicted monsters and you don't want to switch Rampage decos around, then try Bloody Heart. So who are the best followers to bring? The absolute number one best in slot mandatory follower is Hinoa using the Hunting Horn. Her primary role is support. That means she will always heal and buff you. Her songs are attack and defense up and health regeneration, which stacks with skills, items, and your own natural health regen. She also uses Infernal Melody very often, which boosts your attack by a lot. You can never go wrong with her even when using other builds. The second follower doesn't really matter. Ideally, you can use someone that frequently heals, but use whoever you like. So here are my recommendations. Minoto with Hunting Horn has Divine Protection, which is not really useful for this build, Stamina Use Reduce, and Sonic Barrier. She also heals frequently and can take monster aggro from time to time. Utsushi with Hunting Horn has Attack Up, Blight Negated, and Elemental Attack Boost. Great if you're using an elemental weapon. Fiorayne with Sword and Shield can heal you when your health gets low. Same with her sister Rondine when using the Switch Axe. So feel free to try everyone out, see which one works best for your playstyle. Having followers and buddies just makes it more easier. Speaking of buddies, get a couple of healer Palicos. For skills, make sure to have Healing Bubble, Power Drum, and some Meow Endemic Life, one on each Palico. Your choice of Shock Trapper for stuns, or Shock Trap because traps works on afflicted monsters, and the secret move Healing Cloverbat on both of them. My recommended Dango setup is level 4 Super Recovery Dango for more passive healing and has to be level 4 so it works while in combat. Level 3 could either be Medic High to increase healing with Gourmet Fish or Booster for more attack. Whatever you don't use for level 3 can get the level 1 slot. The only thing you really need is Super Recovery Dango, and everything else can be whatever you want. For those who wants to see this build in action, make sure to subscribe and watch out for full uncut gameplay videos that I will be uploading next. And before I end the video, I just wanted to say that Berserk is not overpowered. It's not game breaking at all. It does offer a different playstyle similar to Status Trigger, Grinder S, Dragonheart, and even Bloodblight, which may not be for everyone. But it's good for anyone who wants to try something new. And with how tedious it is to grind anomaly investigations, you would want to switch things up. So definitely subscribe to my channel to see more fun builds in the future. And if you made it this far, here's an image of what I'm planning next. Also, thank you so much for watching and see you guys on the next one. Take care.